everybody. Welcome back to the Rantin Review Pro Wrestling, and this is a news break. So we've got a couple of news items today on a Monday. Things are going pretty well for a lot of the guys who have left WWE, surprisingly enough. First off, we got Bronson Reed, who we all knew had left WWE or been released, and it was a lot of conjecture as to where the former North American Heavyweight Champion was going to wind up. A lot of people suspected that he was going to be at Bound for Glory, but he was not there. We recently learned what the reasons were. He talked to the Wrestling Inc. Daily, and now going as Jonah, Jonah, my goodness, Jonah. As a free agent, he did say this to them. Quote, well, I'm not at liberty to say exactly what's going to happen, but I am at the moment this week getting everything confirmed with immigration. So everything should be good to go wherever I do go. So he's not really putting out where he's going, that he is going to Impact, but he's going to be going somewhere pretty soon. He also goes on to say, but basically, I feel like the last few years exposed me to the rest of the world. People got to see what Bronson Reed had to offer, but not really what Jonah had to offer. I was very much set in a mold of what WWE wanted me to be, so going forward, it's what I, myself, want to be as Jonah. So I'm looking to have some pretty cool matches and fun matches, a little different to what I did in WWE. So, once again, it's another WWE former talent talking about how, we all know this now. WWE molds people basically in the view of what Vince McMahon thinks they should be, and then when they leave WWE, they can do other stuff. He's got a lot of stuff to clear with immigration before he can go forward with whatever his career is going to take and wherever he's going to wind up at. But that's a good sign to see that the artist formerly known as Bronson Reed, Jonah, will be debuting somewhere soon, probably on your TV sets. Someone who I did, in fact, sign with Impact Wrestling. No, it's not Wyndham Rotunda, a.k.a. Bray Wyatt, but Speedball Mike Bailey did sign with Impact Wrestling. He did disclose this on his Twitter account. He was offered a contract by Scott D'Amore after Sunday's Destiny Wrestling show in Canada. So, yet another awesome talent being signed to Impact Wrestling, who's, a lot of people felt that they may have been left out of the partnership with AEW, or they looked weak because AEW, both Christian Cage and Kenny Omega, kind of big boyed them in some of the storylines involving those guys in the Impact Championship. But now that Moose is the champion, and now that apparently that AEW Impact deal might be off for at least for the time being, they can focus on some of their own stars, and getting Speedball Mike Bailey is a definite good signing, who's been turning it up on the independent circuit. He did say, thank you, despite setbacks and hardships I've had in my wrestling career, I only feel blessed and grateful for the love and support that I have received continuously in return for my hard work. I couldn't do it without all of you. Thank you. I'll keep doing my best. So, he's been around a while. I think his career started in 2006. He's with Ring of Honor, of course, before. I did see one match he had in Progress Wrestling. He's been in a bunch of other places, too. I think Rev Pro and some of the British indies. Another good signing for Impact Wrestling there. And speaking of some former CZW stars, Jon Moxley recently talked about his awkward moment with Triple H and Paul Heyman when giving his first scripted promo. And this kind of ties into the stuff with Jonah and how, this mold, this weird, strange world that is sports entertainment and WWE that is, it's very odd, I guess. It's odd to everybody unless you're in the WWE universe or you are kind of in, you're part of the roster and you kind of buy into that stuff. You work there, essentially. But Mox had an interview. He's been doing a lot of interviews recently for that book, Mox, where he's talking about a bunch of his wrestling history, of course, his time in the WWE. He said he'll never read a script for a pro wrestling show for the rest of his career, which pretty much confirms he's probably not going back to the WWE unless it's for a Hall of Fame induction, which, 20, 30 years from now, who knows what will happen. And, he said it's not a thing that he's against reading scripts, because he's quoted here saying, if I'm doing a TV show or a movie or doing a guest star role on Grey's Anatomy, yeah, I'll read a script. But I will never read a script on a wrestling show for the rest of my life. I effing guarantee you that. No one will ever hand me a script again. That S word ate at me. Promos are my favorite part of wrestling. I've gone and bitched about this on these shows like this forever, and I'm sick of it. I hate bitching about WWE. A big part of the book, it's not a bitch about WWE book. For sure, you get my feelings on what exactly I think about the process, but it's not the focus. And I think this is kind of a good sign that Mox, who for the first year after he was out of WWE, did do a lot of talking about WWE, but I think he's over it. I think a lot of fans are over it. And it kind of goes into why some of this stuff recently with Tony Khan and the Bucks feuding with the guy from NXT and things that are said here and there. I think a lot of people kind of get tired of it. Mox is tired of it. I think at this point in time, we just want to see everybody put out the best show they possibly can without having a... We know what WWE is. We've been saying it for years and years and years. We know what kind of place it is. And, if you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. But I think it's just funny that even when Mox is focusing on his time as the character known as Dean Ambrose, he still isn't pulling any punches in that Mox book. I'm thinking about reading it. I might check it out pretty soon. But that's the news for today in the wrestling world. Everybody's still waiting to see, of course, where Wyndham Rotundo is going to show up. Is he going to be in Impact? Is he going to be in AEW? We got a lot of stuff coming up this weekend, too, on the channel because we have the Power Struggle show from New Japan Pro Wrestling, which should be highly interesting given all the changes that happened after the G1. So stay tuned to this channel for that and other news items here on the Rant and Review Pro Wrestling. If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already and a notification bell. And, of course, share this on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, wherever you talk about pro wrestling and sports entertainment. I will see you guys next time for more news breaks here on the Rant and Review Pro Wrestling. Have a good day.